Each and every year, prices of basic goods and services have a habit of increasing. 70 years ago, my granny paid 10 cents for a loaf of bread. Now, she can't even buy the same loaf for the same price. To an average South African, this concept is known as inflation.
What is inflation?
Inflation is a continuous general increase in the price of most goods and services in a country over a period of time. Inflation rate is usually given as a percentage. In South Africa, the official measure of inflation is the CPI or Consumer Price Index. CPI shows the change in prices of a standard package of goods and services which South African household purchase for consumption. That's all you need to know about CPI. Let's have a look at comparing inflation rate. In South Africa, the inflation rate is based upon Consumer Price Index or CPI. This table features an overview of the historic South African inflation. I have presented the average inflation by year for South Africa. The average of 12 monthly inflation rate of a calendar year. The inflation rate in 2012 is 5.75%. A year later, the average inflation rate is sitting at 5.77%. Before I bore you to death with percentages, let me attempt a practical example. Let us assume this year is 2011. I want to buy a cell phone that cost 2 grand. 2,000 rand to stay in. Using the compound interest formula, at a rate of 5.75%, I should expect to pay 2,115 the next year. The price will escalate to 2,237 rand and 4 cents the next year. Notice that year after year, 2,000 rand buys gradually less and less. Let us have a look at this example. Sibeko Trading Proprietary Limited spends an average of 138,000 on stock purchases in a financial year. If the purchasing price for stock items increases at the rate of 8%, the question is, what effect would this have on the purchasing power of the business? Get your calculator ready. It is important to know that the compound interest formula can be used to calculate the future increase of goods and services when the inflation rate is given. 8% can be written as 0.08. This 138,000 is the purchasing price for stock items. We treat it as our principal amount or present value. Using a calculator, 138,000 multiplied by 1 plus 0.08 in bracket raised to the exponent 1 is equal to 149,040 rand. The company will now have to pay 149,040 rand for stock items. The question is, what effect would this have on the purchasing power of the business? Unfortunately, the purchasing power of the business has declined. They will purchase a lesser stock. This means lesser profit for the company, and some employees may have to face salary reductions and possibly lose their jobs. Let's have a look at the second question. What can the business do to ensure the profit is not negatively influenced? An oversimplistic answer would be to increase the prices. Realistically, when the price of goods increases, we expect people to buy fewer goods. The company may adjust prices in small proportions, but the customer's affordability should be considered. The company must be more efficient so unit costs fall and profits are restored. The more efficient the business is, the less likely it is they will have to raise prices, and the less likely is inflation.